What we are going to witness now is a session which is definitely high on energy and bringing a lot of innovative ideas to this stage. So before we get started with this session on the big pitch, I first would like to welcome the jury. Thank you so much for being here and to provide some feedback to the companies that are going to pitch in just about a minute. But I first would like to have you introducing yourself, the company that you work for, and the kind of things that you're looking for in companies. Priya.
So my name is Priya Guha. I'm a venture partner at Merriam Ventures. We invest in female-led innovation in the US and the UK. In terms of companies that we look for, well, I mean, we're looking, for those of you who were in the panel session earlier, you might have heard this once before, but we're really looking for two things: the idea, the technology, and then also the team. And those will be the two things I'll be looking forward to shortly.
Very good.
Hello there, hi. I'm Claire Johnson and I work at St John's Innovation Centre based on the Science Park in Cambridge. We host two pitch training events a year. And with regard to your question of what do we look for companies that are doing step change innovation with an ambition for growth.
I'm Luigi Amati. I'm the chair of Meta, an investment company focused on early stage across Europe. We look for vision, we look for motivation, capacity of execution at the very early stage. And I'm also here as chair of Business Angels Europe. In this case, I'm looking for companies that wishes to be supported by angels and angels groups across Europe.
Thank you for those kind introductions. So ladies and gentlemen, what is the role for this session? We are going to witness pitches from 9 different companies, and each company has a max of 2 minutes to present their ideas. Afterwards, we will have a max of 3 minutes that the jury can give some feedback to the companies and provide some information on their business plans, financial strategy, and so on and so forth. And also good to know is that I'll call out the 2 minutes on the screen, and I'm going to ask those that are going to pitch, are you ready? And as soon as you nod yes, we are going to get started. So I hope you're all ready, and it is my great pleasure to first ask to the stage Andreas Androutselis Theotokous from Innate Repair. Are you ready?
I'm ready. We all know someone who has battled with cancer, and we know that treatments are pretty effective at shrinking a tumor, but there's always the fear that it might come back. The reason behind this is that within any tumor, there are specialized cancer cells that are resistant to all therapies that we have. And then they evade therapy and they regenerate the tumor, and for this we call them cancer stem cells, and they are extremely difficult to kill. Innate Repair scientists have found completely new ways to target those cells. And right now we need to perform the complete preclinical validation, which is a requirement for big pharma to join us and then take this all the way to becoming a clinical product. And we have already been approached by big pharma, who recognize that there is an inadequacy in the medical field and they need something out of the box, and we have a completely new biology that has been published, validated, independently corroborated, and very importantly, patented. The oncology market is vast, of course, in the order of $1 trillion. 57 billion annually are only spent for research in oncology. And we have a great team to make this happen, which includes the inventor of these patents, the chief scientist, that's me, very experienced finance professionals like Nikos, who's sitting here with us, renowned academics in different countries, and we are also enjoying strong institutional support as we are a spin-off from the University of Dresden, a center of excellence in Germany, registered in the UK. We can do this with 3 million or great GBP over the next 2 years. Thanks very much.
Thank you. So have you done such a pitch session before?
Similar ones, yes.
Okay,
Very good, very good. So you've already said you have been approached by the pharma world.
Yes.
That sounds like a good thing, but let's hear from the jury what they thought about your pitch. Who would like to take the floor?
I'll start. Okay. Well done, because I know we've worked with you this morning, and it's great to see you on the stage here. Just something, it would have been good to know a little bit more about the benchmarks you're going to be looking for the next year.
Yes.
If you could expand on that.
Sure. We're actually one of the things we're doing these days is we're speaking to research and technology organizations with whom we're going over the total details of the experimental planning. Without getting too technical, there is a series of standard preclinical experiments. Essentially, you need to cure a set of mice with brain cancer. That would be the first thing that we need to do. These are standard established things that we will outsource by subcontracting a major RTO here in the UK, actually in the area. So we have that all set up. In the meantime, through our academic university and contacts through our business expert, who works anyhow with pharma, we're opening up to other opportunities as well.
Okay. Any other questions? Luigi.
Have you got already any investor on board, and what kind of investor?
We have our initial seed funding that will see us through the first year to year and a half. So let's say we can pay the experiments for the first year. We would like to get there faster and bigger, but we are starting in the next few weeks.
What kind of investor is it, if I can ask you?
It's a private seed investor who's actually our co-founder as well. So
okay.
In part it's our co-founder, and that gets us started to begin with.
Okay.
Thank you. I think we'll leave it up.
To this point, Andreas, the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'd like to call on stage the second organization to pitch its ideas, and that is Simon Evans of Blue Abyss. Ready when you are.
Thank you. Marine technology test centres are inadequate for the optimal development of marine technology for the energy and defence sectors. Commercial human spaceflight is emerging, and there are no spaceflight preparation centres established. Both of these markets combined are estimated to be worth $10 billion by 2025. Blue Abyss will build extreme environment research and test centres to enable the growth of marine technology and to allow us to act as first mover internationally for the provision of commercial astronaut training centres. Our management team is ideal for this business, and we have internationally renowned field experts that acts as a barrier to entry, as does the size and the cost of our centres, and the in-depth relationships that we've established over 5 years within the markets we serve. Our financial forecasts are based on direct engagement with over 20 companies from our primary market, and indicate that our EBITDA after the first year of operations would be £6 million, rising to £46 million by our fourth year of operations. We have signed heads of terms for our UK site in Liverpool. We have partnered with a Series B funder who would provide our build funds once planning approval has been achieved. And we now look for £5 million to take the business through pre-planning to planning submission, for which we are happy to offer 15% of a business that will be worth £140 million once our Series B investor comes in. Thank you very much for your time. I should say my name is Simon Evans, and I'll be at Network Area after this.
Okay, thank you very much, Simon. So you're a real negotiator, right? I want your 5 million, I'll give you 50%.
Well, yeah, that's what we're offering, and we're happy to hear people, if they're interested, hear from them.
Okay.
Are you interested?
Priya?
So my question is really around the market, because commercial space flight feels like quite a long play in the scheme of some other markets. Yeah. So what makes your offering so viable as a business, and can you address the competition in the space as well, because it does seem like a replicable model?
Well, the beauty is, you're right, there isn't actually a market there for establishing a business solely for that market, which is why we are establishing our business for the maritime sector in a way that positions ourselves for that market as it emerges. And we will therefore be ahead of our competitors, and we are establishing ourselves at a size that makes it difficult for our competitors to compete. And the competitors are spaceflight preparation businesses, not those that are launching people into space.
Simon, I was wondering if you could give us a little more information exactly what the tanks are like. What is special about them?
The largest commercial diving pool in the world will be what we'll have in Liverpool, 50 meters deep, 40 by 50 meters, with multiple platforms at different levels, different activities can be conducted by different companies. And so you've got a very, very large aquatic test and training center.
Thanks.
Any further questions? Yeah.
Your clients, what would be your main clients?
Our clients are the supply chains predominantly serving the energy and defense sectors. So we've got a lot of tier 1 and tier 2 operators, but also these supply chains are subsea technology developers, ROV and AUV developers and the like.
So mostly private?
Yes,
Yeah.
DTB.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions?
So what regulatory environment are you under in UK law if you're doing subsurface technology research?
Now, I must admit, I don't have those details myself. I'm the scientist and the R&D director, so you've got me on that one. I would have to get the answer for you, sorry.
Okay. Good, very tricky question indeed then. Okay, thank you very much for your pitch, and also to you, the best of luck. Next up, I'd like to call out Jessica Ocampos from ComNexus. Ready when you are.
Okay. Only 53% of the global population has access to internet and to reliable access of digital infrastructure. Our company, ComNexus, based at the University of Cambridge, we have developed a solution that can provide the communication infrastructure and data processing capability for making sensors deployment in rural and remote areas. Our solution is an end-to-end IoT solution based on low-power technologies and real-time data processing, for also empowered with artificial intelligence for easy data visualization. Our team, we are 3 people. 2 of us are PhDs of the University of Cambridge in engineering and economics, and we have a strong background working for combined 20 years developing technologies and bringing them in developing countries. What we have started is through a prototype that we developed thanks to initial funding of £100,000 from Innovation Agency of international partner and our self-fund as well. Recently, we have signed the first agreement for a pilot with a water utility company in South America, and also being awarded a Global Challenge Research Fund with our partners at the University of Cambridge. Our IP is based on the software development, and we are now in due diligence about the patent for hardware. What we are asking is £500,000 that will help us to extend this to our team, to increase our team, to continue the IP protection, and actually to continue the validation, which we will do in Brazil. My name is Jessica Ocampos. I am available for any question. If you're interested to join us, please look out for us in the networking area. We're ComNexus.
Well done, right in time. Thank you very much. Jury, any questions for Jessica?
Jessica, I was wondering if you could expand on the trials that you're going to be doing in South America and what the outputs you're what you're hoping to achieve.
Well, basically, we are working with 2 countries, so in Chile and Brazil, and we are working, trying to develop the pilots for this infrastructure, this end-to-end solution. So it's basically trying with the sensors and looking up to the data processing and possibility that the users can have access in an easy way. So there's also validation of the technology, which we already started through the prototype and the demonstration in field test in industries.
Okay.
So I wanted to ask a bit more about the technology, if I may. It sounds like you have a quite unique technological solution for this challenge, but there are lots of other players in this market, particularly some of the larger tech companies who are looking to provide their own solutions. How are you going to be the sort of market winner in that sense vis-a-vis these companies?
Well, one thing that we all realized is that there's, in the IoT sector, there are different technologies that can provide, and they are really specific based on their technological features. We are using LoRaWAN technology. Basically, it's a low-power technology that allows certain conditions for the dedicated sensors that we are working with. I think what is really strong on us is that we have a close contact with clients in those particular regions. So we understand their innovation gaps, we understand their needs, and we know that we are there already working with them.
Okay. Final question?
Well, on the financials maybe. If you are investing €1 today, in 5 years down the line, what will be the value of this €1? And maybe also understand better how the exit would happen for an investor.
Well, in the IoT market, as you know, there's a lot of speculation about how much will actually grow. There's actually very different numbers. Mm-hmm. What we've seen in similar cases is that actually in about probably 5 years, because this technology is in developing, we can be possible to exit into, for example, a network provider or a corporate integrator, a large integrator. Mm-hmm. So that is what we envision as that. Mm-hmm. And for the value, what we estimate is about 25% of what we are today giving, at least.
Okay.
Thank you very much, and Jessica, good luck.
Okay.
The fourth company we would like to call on stage is Iqb Information Technologies, and the pitch is being provided by Arman Zarebafian. Can I have the 2 minutes, please? Ready when you are.
Perfect, thank you. The average cost of bringing a new drug or material to market currently is $5 billion, and this is a process that takes more than a decade. A majority of that time and money is spent on trial and error, building molecules in the lab, testing them, fail, and redo that. The key to resolving this problem is to use more in silico experimentation and bringing a lot of that into computer simulations to predict what the behavior of molecule will be before even building it in the lab. Well, unfortunately, the current computers that we have are just not adequate to do a full job when it comes to these simulations. And this is only one example of intractable and computationally challenging problems in industry that our current computing technologies are not adequate for. That's why big IT companies like Google, IBM, Microsoft, and Intel are working on a new paradigm of computation called quantum computing. 1 qubit is a quantum software company focused on developing applications and software for these quantum computers, these new generation computers. And we work with other industries as a bridge between emerging computing technologies like quantum computing and their challenging problems. That's why we have partnered up with Fortune 500 clients like Dow Chemicals, Biogen Pharmaceuticals, Allianz, CME, and RBS, and we help them bring quantum computing technologies and prepare for this new paradigm of computation. So now we are here. Our model is based on partnership and collaboration, and if you are interested to redefine intractable, I'm here. Please reach out, and we'd like to talk to you.
Thank you. Well done, and I can see the passion because you keep on smiling when doing your pitch. Very good. Any feedback from the jury?
Can I ask a clarification maybe around the model that you're looking for? Are you looking to redesign existing software applications for quantum, or are you looking to design from scratch new solutions for that market?
Thank you. That's an excellent question, actually. It really depends on the problem. And for us, we think of quantum computers as co-processors. So actually, the solution is a hybrid of existing software solutions augmented by quantum computing capabilities. Very similar to older computers that were predominantly working based on CPUs, and then graphical processing units were invented to help with a particular task in basically graphical processing, and GPUs are now an integral part of classical computers. So we think of this new paradigm of computation as a hybrid co-processor beside the existing solution.
Okay. Another question?
Are you still at the pre-commercial stage, or all the partnership you mentioned are already revenue-generating contracts?
They are revenue-generating contracts, and we have raised 45 million in Series B from strategic industries who are interested in working with us either on the hardware side or on the application.
Okay. Final question, Claire?
I was wondering, what are the milestones that you have placed yourself for the next year?
So we believe that quantum computing is actually a marathon, not a sprint. It's a long-term game, and one of the main milestones that we have for next year is finishing and releasing one of the first applications we are working on called Chemist, which stands for Quantum-Enabled Molecular Ab Initio Simulation Toolkit. It's basically what we say is we want to put Q in chemistry. So that's the first product that we want to release and invite collaborators to use it and explore applications on it.
Okay.
Thank you very much, and also to you, the best of luck.
Thank you. Next up, I'd like to invite on the stage Yama Nateki from Symptoma. You ready?
Hi, my name is Jama. I'm a medical doctor and co-founder of Symptoma. And Symptoma is a search engine for diseases. 1 in 7 diagnoses are misdiagnoses, and 1.5 million lives could be saved each year with the right diagnosis. But what causes misdiagnoses? It's misinformation. Physicians have to consider more than 20,000 conditions at once, more than anyone can handle. We have developed Symptoma, a search engine for diseases. Patients and doctors enter symptoms, and they receive a list of matching causes sorted by probability. And this is high technology. We have invested 13 years in research and development, and so far established the biggest disease database in the world with 20,000 conditions and billions of connections to symptoms and risk factors. Symptoma is the first and only viable solution in our market with the by far highest diagnostic accuracy rates, as published in peer-reviewed studies and journals. We are a team of 60 based in Austria, operating at a profit. Both founders, Tom and I, are working together since 17 years. This is our second joint company. The first one we grew to a team size of 100 while operating at a profit. We have personally invested in 1 million euros in Symptoma. And on top of the search engine, we have established a chatbot, which is simulating the doctor-patient interaction. You enter symptoms, and then it automatically asks questions that are tailored to your case. So you could enter undercooked eggs, for instance, and it would ask about abdominal pain. You enter even Elon Musk, and it would ask about manic behavior. So it's already the precursor of the artificial intelligence that we are building. Thank you.
Thank you, Jama. And that's probably been already very helpful that you had a company, right? Or you still have it?
I still have it, of course, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Jury, any feedback?
So what's your revenue model? Is it a subscription? And I have a secondary question, if I can sneak one in, which is, in the UK at least, I suspect this is elsewhere, giving patients access to that information can be quite dangerous because people tend to self-diagnose. How will you manage that?
So the revenue model is patients and doctors search for free, and we are currently reaching 1.5 million monthly active users and have the industry highest growth rates. And companies pay for ads. So one of the biggest problems for the industry, for instance, for pharma companies, are misdiagnoses for rare diseases. So for 400 diseases alone, pharma companies are losing 412 billion euros each year due to misdiagnoses because they can't replace their therapies. The second question, could you restate it again? Because you said could it be dangerous for patients to have access to this kind of information? It's actually vice versa. So until 2017, we believed in this paradigm of the authority of the doctor to actually only have this kind of information. And then we talked to 40 patient advocacy groups, especially for rare diseases, and they are having the pain quite literally. So as of now, 80% of patients are already Googling their symptoms. 1 in 20 searches on Google are symptom related. So they are already looking for this kind of information. But Google only has a diagnostic accuracy of 58%, whereas we have something about 95 to 100%. So by delivering the information in a way that the patient can actually work with it is rather helpful than not helpful. However, you're absolutely right, because you have to allow for the colloquial speech. So in our case, you can even enter undercooked eggs. You can enter, I have to frequently urinate, and then ask for painful urination. And it works really wonders. So yeah, there's a risk, but also a chance.
Okay, I can take one question.
Yeah, one quick question. I mean, I've seen that there are already some companies which are providing similar type of services, but for verticals, like blood pressures or cardiovascular or breathing problems and so on and so forth. I mean, how do you see this? Is this competition? You come upstream before them? How do you see the market developing there? Because they have a lot of more specialized data in specific sectors in terms of diagnosis.
Yeah, there's an opportunity and a risk also to the specialization. So what we see is we partner up with more than 50 companies worldwide. Mm-hmm. And some of them are biosignal processing companies. Mm-hmm. And what we see is that even until now, automatically to identify an ECG as normal, you only have rates of 70%. So although they're highly specialized, it's not really working. So you need data from other areas, and this is what we are doing. So we're combining data from different specialties and different biosignals in order to provide the complete picture.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Jama, and best of luck.
Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, next up is Vincent Meurens from Cognitive Systems.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. We all live in a world where there's a lot of data around us, and it can be mostly structured, sometimes unstructured, or mostly unstructured, sometimes structured. It's in siloed, it's distributed, and it comes to us in high velocity, volume, and variety. Most of the current AI solutions, they focus on centralized intelligence. With the help of Technology Institution of Agency of South Africa, we were able to develop a platform that distributes intelligence to data sources, data collectors at the edge. An example of how we use that data is in the tuberculosis, the TB sphere in the ecosystem. A disease that affects 1/4 of the global population in a latent form. Every year, about 10 million of those will develop the disease as we know it, and about 4 million go missing. They're unfound and untreated. And that results in about 1.6 people dying every year. This is one real-world solution where we actually use the platform for solving that challenge of volume, velocity, and variety. And that is needed to fight such a disease. You need to find the missing patients. You need to continuously monitor their health, and that is a challenge specifically in remote and rural areas and underserved communities. Current approaches, they struggle to harvest actionable information and insights from big data and IoT. Our platform is distributed and exploits connected devices and incrementally learns from humans and processes. Our team of 10 scientists has actually demonstrated commercially in various industries the use of this in fintech, health tech, agriculture, and video surveillance. The ecosystem of these partnerships allows us to focus on what we do best, which is distributed intelligence as a service. To further develop our platform, we are looking for 1 million, and that is to strengthen our go-to-market and help us patent the solution. I'm Vincent and Annette, and we are here for further questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Vincent. 1 million?
Yes.
Not less, but perhaps more?
Perhaps more.
Okay, thank you. Jury, any feedback on the pitch by Vincent?
Vincent, congratulations on your pitch. Actually, I do have a question. It's a slightly twofold one. You talk about your work with TB, which is clearly a global problem. It'd be good to understand how those trials are working and which is the sector you're going to be looking at after that.
Yeah. So as mentioned, so it's a generic platform that we've developed, and in order to allow us to focus on the different verticals, we partner up with specialized companies. So one of them, for example, is EPCON in Belgium. It's in collaboration with IMEC, a research institute, and that allows us really to create that expertise in those domains. So they work with physicians and data scientists to really solve this particular problem, to find and map epidemic outbreaks and monitor disease as it evolves and find missing patients. In other industries, like fintech, we work again with actuarial science companies that help us specialize in that domain. So what we really do is we focus with cognitive systems on the generic distributed AI as a service platform.
Any other questions? Luigi?
What is unique in your business, the acquisition of data? I mean, what makes you unique?
Well, there's two things. One is that we can basically handle the variety of data in a very, let's say, well-managed way. So we basically use Bayesian reasoning models to identify patterns within an enormous amount of variety of data. So that is one which is quite strong. And we are able to actually push that to the edge. And that really helps us in a connected environment, in rural settings, in Africa, Asia, wherever it's required, or even in Europe, to really push that intelligence to the edge. And that is quite unique in what we do.
Okay. Priya?
Tell us a bit more about the founding team. Who are you and your leadership team?
So actually the founder of the company, Annette, is here as well. So Annette Potgieters is from South Africa herself. Myself, I actually co-founded one of the verticals, and it's basically a team of data scientists, and we have a physician included as well. So it's really quite a broad, but we're basically 10 today. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Vincent. The best of luck.
Thank you.
Next up, the audience is Behzad Behrouzan from Iqb Technology. Ready when you are.
Yes, thank you. 95% of us don't use our medication based on the prescription of the physician. Do you? At Iqb, we actually created a 24 hours AI-powered PUF monitoring and health monitoring. It is very easy to use, preventative, and then look at the patient in a holistic way. With Iqb's technology, we empower patient and care teams to monitor the adherence to the care plans and then work together to increase that compliance. Then they can see the effect of that increase in the compliance in the care, to the care plan in patient's life, sleep, activity, and so on. So patients feel good. They're confident to stay home and not coming back to the hospital. We demonstrated it with the study involving 250 patients that they had like COPD, and then the hospital readmission decreased. The increase to the care plan increased dramatically, and then our customers saved $1 million. We have a very diverse team, including professional care providers, scientists, data scientists, and then also business experts. And then we're looking for $1 million to expand out of Canada, coming to Europe, starting from Switzerland, Germany, and UK. Thank you very much. I'm Behzad Behrouzan, and then we are just puff away from a holistic view of the patient monitoring. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Behzad. Well, that sounds like a dream, I guess, to anyone. If you can just stay at home, get treatment and care, you don't have to rush off to the hospital, right?
That's true.
Okay. Dear jury, any feedback? More than welcome. Priya.
So, if I'm understanding your solution correctly, it feels like a market where there's lots of other, perhaps more siloed solutions. So, you know, health monitors like I have on my wrist, or a smart tablet that you might take that monitors your usage. So is partnering with those existing players part of your growth strategy, or do you intend to take a different route?
Absolutely, it is in the future
It's okay.
part of the strategy. We couldn't actually find that partners. Like, for example, we actually gave our patients Fitbit, and then we asked them to start using it. All of our patients are like chronic disease patients who are 65 plus. They couldn't even use it. And on the other hand, like we actually do the multimodal, so we do the inhaler monitoring, we do the weight monitoring management, we do the activity tracker, and we don't use the cell phone. Everything is automated through the hub. So, but in the future, of course, for sure.
Claire.
Can I ask you a question about the trial you did? You said there were 250. What sort of improvements did you notice, and could you highlight on some of the details in that?
Sure. That's a very good question. It's like we started, the biggest hospital in Western Canada wanted to monitor 200 patients, but within a year, 250 patients signed up, and then we saw 100% completion in this study, which is like very, very rare with chronic disease management trials. And then the reason was like the system was super easy to use, so they could use it at home. So that one was like very big improvement of the care team could actually make sure that the patients stay at home. And then the readmission, we saw the decrease in the readmission rate, which freed up the bed utilization at the hospital. And then that increased that actually saved $1 million for Vancouver General Hospital.
Okay. Final question, Luigi?
Maybe again on the financials. I mean, what is the expectation of someone investing $1 million today in 5 years? And a little bit maybe if you can elaborate on the business model.
For sure. The business model is like we have a product and service as a platform, and it's subscription-based per patient per year. And then we also share the profit with our customers as well. Mm-hmm. And then we focus on the high-risk patients. So we focus on the high-risk patients, make sure that they don't come back to the hospital. We cut the readmission rate to 1/3 with the COPD patients, high-risk COPD patients. Mm-hmm. And then on the ROI, one example is a company that just doing the rescue inhaled medication was just sold for like $230 million. It shows that how adoption of the digital health is increasing within the healthcare system.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you very much, Behzad, and good luck.
Thank you very much.
And the next person I'd like to invite onto the stage is Mike Davies from Biotech.
Thank you. Inflammatory diseases are the biggest disease area known to man. It's currently a $106 billion market, and that market is set to increase as it's now become apparent that most diseases are related or at least started with an inflammatory process, such as dementia, senescence, cancers. Biotech are developing new, safe treatments for serious inflammatory diseases. The current treatments for these diseases are, in effect, poor and not well tolerated. For atopic dermatitis, which we all know as eczema, the lead treatment is an emollient. It's E45. It's a cream. It has no medicine in it at all. The second-line treatments are steroids, and we all know the problems with steroids. We've shown with our new medicines that are delivered by a nanoparticle delivery technology that we can switch off inflammation, but we also prevent the activation of inflammation, which will be very important going forward. We've got good, strong IP. It's just been granted in the US and in Europe, and we're looking to build on that IP. We're SEIS and EIS compliant, approved. We're currently a virtual company. There are 5 of us at the moment. We've got legal, patents, finance, and consultants. I've been in the pharmaceutical industry for over 20 years, and I've taken medicines from first patents right the way through to the market. We're looking for 700,000 UK pounds, $1 million US, to prove over the next year that we can switch off inflammation in human tissue biopsies from patients with the diseases. I'm Mike Davis. We can meet later on in the networking room if you want to know more.
Thanks a lot, Mike, for your pitch. And let's go straight over to the panel, shall we? So any feedback from you?
I have a question, just so I'm understanding it correctly. Is your USP the medicines, or is your USP the delivery method?
The USP is, first of all, the medicines, which are proteins, peptides, and then the USP for the delivery technology is licensed at the moment, because as part of the 700,000, we want to look at other delivery mechanisms as well.
Okay.
Claire, dig down. You're asking for 700,000 or $1 million. Could you just sort of, what will you be spending that on, or what do you hope to spend that on? What will be your milestones that you'll be marking yourself with?
Over this next year, with that 700,000 UK pounds, we will manufacture, reformulate, gain stability data enough to be able to carry out the tests, and carry out the tests of acquiring tissue from people, from patients with inflammatory bowel disease, atopic dermatitis, burns, rheumatoid arthritis, test our formulations on, and measure how that we switch off inflammation by measuring pro-inflammatory cytokines.
Okay. Final question, Luigi.
Maybe the team. Who is in the team?
So at the team at the moment, we have legal, patents, financial, and we have external consultants who are, the lead one is Professor John McLaughlin from Manchester University here, who fully supports the idea, and there's myself, who is the CEO of the company. With investment, we will grow. We'll get a project manager, and as we grow and get into Series A investment, we'll grow even further. But at the moment, we're a virtual team because we don't need to spend the money that we don't have to pay those people.
Okay. Thank you. Very clever. Also, the best of luck to you to grow your company, Mike. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, the final pitch of today, and that's Javid Khan from Holixica.
Thank you. The 3D today is broken. It's a horrible experience. You have to wear a headset or goggles. These are inconvenient, uncomfortable, they lead to headaches and nausea and all kinds of problems. Every sci-fi fan knows that the best way to do 3D is using holographic technology. My company, Holixica, specializes in holographic 3D solutions. We can make images appear in mid-air, just like Star Wars. 3D visualization is a huge market. It's a 4.3 billion euro market. We specialize in B2B, mainly professional markets, medical education, scientific data visualization, engineering design, construction, large sectors. We have an excellent team with a track record of delivering on high-tech, high-end, extreme graphics projects. We have a strong IP. We've been on a 10-year journey to solve 3D. We have computer code, algorithms, tools, and methods. We're looking for an investment of 1.3 million to go to market and to build out our commercial team, because we're a highly technical team at the moment. We just finished a Horizon 2020 SME instrument project, which was 1.3 million. We've spent over 2 million so far over the past 10 years. I'm Dr. Javid Khan. My background is in electronics and photonics, and we actually have a stand here. There's nothing better than seeing to believe this technology. So come and find me in the exhibition or in the networking session afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you, Javid, for this final pitch. Are you happy?
Yes, it's great.
Okay, let's see if the jury is happy as well. Okay, they should be. Okay, let's hear from the jury. Luigi.
I visited your stand, and I must say it's amazing what it's on this 2D screen in terms of holography. But there are a lot of holographics technologies. What makes you unique? Why do you believe your technology is the best?
It is unique because you don't have to do anything. You don't have to wear anything. You don't have to put anything on your head. It's naturally viewable. Multiple people can view it at the same time. So it's collaborative, And we believe that this is the next thing that will disrupt current 3D, which is based on glasses. I mean, the big companies have pushed this for the last 15 years, and it's not been successful, and it never will be, ever.
Okay. Priya.
So you mentioned you'd received some funding through the Horizon 2020 grant, but what has been your other source of funding to date?
We've received Innovate UK funding, so we've received lots of public funding. But apart from that, we have some small angel investors, myself personally, and we did a crowdfunding round about 3 or 4 years ago where we raised about 140K, which enabled us to get through the Innovate UK, the Horizon 2020 SME project.
Okay, last question.
Hi. I was wondering if you could expand on your route to market. You said you've raised money, and I was just wondering what elements of the market you're going to tackle first.
That's an excellent question. I mentioned lots of different segments, but in fact, over the years, we've been developing static 3D images called digital holograms, and you can see those as well. And so we already have customers for those products, and this latest technology is an upsell for those. But to answer your question, the best market for us, just organically, has been medical education and training. We started with human anatomy. We've imaged all of the human anatomy. We've appeared on BBC, Sky News, on many channels. And we've now moved to surgery, so we have paying surgeons who pay for us to make stuff for them. And then there's veterinary science, and it goes on and on. That's just one vertical. Okay. I'm not going to go into the others.
Okay, thank you so much. Keep up the good work, and the best of luck also to you, Javed. Thank you. So, dear audience, if you would like to learn much more about those 9 beautiful and lovely companies, you're more than welcome to talk to them in the networking area, and as you've heard, some of them are also in the exhibition area. I hope you've enjoyed this session. One big hand again to the 9 companies, but also to our jury. Thank you very much.